We have your weekend Apple news. Welcome back to the channel. So it's the weekend again, and you know by now what we do on the weekends. We go through the Apple news. I usually go through about 20 or 25 different Apple-related news stories. I go through some tech sales, some Apple sales. I usually have a beer on the weekends. Today I have a Kronbacher Hell, one of my favorite German beers. Actually, I have so many favorite German beers, I can't count them. Anyways, beyond that, we just sit back and have some fun. So if you love Apple products, services, and like I said, sales, just sit back and relax. Let's get into the news. Story number one. If you're thinking about buying an iPhone 16 now or maybe waiting for the iPhone 17, what are some of the changes? Let's take a look over here. Mac rumors. iPhone 17 Pro launching in 3 months with these 12 new features. Now this is the Pro version, just keep that in mind. So we're going to kind of scroll down here. It says number one, aluminum frame. iPhone 17 Pro models are rumored to have an aluminum frame. Now, I mean, the Pros actually, I think, had titanium frames before. I'm not sure this is an upgrade or a downgrade. Either way, though, it's going to be aluminum for all it's worth. So that's one change there. It's going to have a rectangular camera bump. So this is the iPhone 17 Pro models. So if we kind of go back up here, it's going to look very similar to what I just showed you right here. So whether you like that or not, I think it's going to look different for sure. But are you going to like it? That's the question. Couple other cool things here. The next one's sky blue finish. Like the latest MacBook Air, the iPhone 17 Pro models are rumored to have an available sky blue color, kind of like my shirt, or kind of like the one looking right here. You can see it right there. That's actually going to be one I might pick up. I love that color, so I don't know about that. All right, here's some more kind of useful things. Larger battery. The iPhone 17 Pro Max, this is the Max, is rumored to have slightly thicker design that allows for a larger battery, so that's not too bad. Then we got the A19 Pro chip. The iPhone 17 Pro models are expected to get Apple's next generation A19. It's basically manufactured with TSMC's newer third generation 3nm process. So it's not going to be the 2nm, still the 3nm, but I think it's going to be a power horse. I think we're going to go up. I think it's going to probably go up about 20% again, but still, if you're a gamer and things like that, it might matter to you. Otherwise, it probably won't. It says right here, Apple designed Wi-Fi 7 chip. So all 4 iPhone 17 models are rumored to get a Wi-Fi 7 chip designed by Apple rather than Broadcom. And you know, we've seen the first chip they produced actually didn't perform as well, so I don't know if they're going to change that and make it better and slowly beat Broadcom. We'll see what happens there. So that could be an upgrade or a downgrade. Here's some more upgrades. 24 megapixel camera. All 4 iPhone 17 models are said to feature upgraded 24 megapixel front cameras here, where the other ones basically were 12 megapixel. That's a big change there. Then 28 megapixel rear telephoto camera. An upgraded 48 megapixel telephoto camera on the back is rumored in all i17 Pro models. That's up from the 12 as well. So you can see some pretty big changes. I mean, megapixels don't always matter. It actually means you may have to have more space on the phone and everything like that. So whether it's going to be a better picture, we're going to, the jury's still out on that, so we'll hold off there. It's going to also have dual video recording. According to John Prosser, basically you can record on the front camera and the back camera. That's actually a good feature if you're a blogger and you want to talk and then also show something as you're walking. Maybe you're walking through a city or something and you want to narrate it. That's a good change there. 8K video recording is going to come to this as well. They're tested 8K video recording. I'm not so sure they're going to do that. If they do that, I mean, how many people are actually going to use that? I guess if you're a motion picture designer, maybe, but beyond that, 4K I think is good enough on most phones. Here's some things, 12 gigs of RAM, iPhone 17 Pro models, and even the iPhone 17 Air rumored to have up to 12, or have basically 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's going to be an upgrade there. So that's going to be a big upgrade, I think. And then improved cooling. This might be the biggest one. All 4 iPhones are rumored to have an internal design changes that result in better heat dissipation, a vapor chamber cooling system here. So overall, you get the idea. That could actually mean more battery life even just because it's going to be cooling it easier. Sometimes that actually helps with battery as well, keeps it cooler. You just don't know. But I mean, it's going to be, post in the comments. Should you wait or should you actually just get the 16 on sale right now because there's some good sales? Post in the comments. Cheers, everyone. Have a great weekend. Great weather in Chicago this weekend. All right, this next story here is from Apple Insider. It's kind of interesting if you like free stuff. Apple Insider, get these 9 classic Sega iOS games for free while you still can. See the title right here? So here's the, an iPhone, obviously. Sega is about to drop support for a series of 9 Sega games for the iPhone, with classics including Crazy Taxi and Sonic the Hedgehog. So they're free right now, and they're going to drop support. So they're saying get them on your phone while you can in case they actually remove them later. So if you scroll down here, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Shining Force Classic, Sonic CD Classic, Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage 2, Super Monkey Ball, and Virtual Tennis. These are all free right now. Watch what happens. If I click on this, Crazy Taxi right here, Okay, you can see it right here. Crazy Taxi Classic right here by Sega. And you can see free right there. So all the games are going to have that little free designation. So you can go ahead and just download this for the iPhone right away. Obviously, I'm on a Mac right now, so I can't do that. But I just wanted to show you how cool this is. So definitely get those 9 games. Let me actually, well, save the list. I'll put the picture back up here so you can see them. Just go ahead and pause that, and then you can go ahead and write them down or take a screenshot of it or something. But grab those games while you can, because Sega games are great, from the classics especially, and they're free. Okay, so with macOS Tahoe 26 coming out soon and all the great changes, there's a couple negatives that this is actually going to bring. Not with that one, not with that actual version, but with the next one. Right here, Apple Insider. It says OpenCore and Hackintosh are sadly dead after Apple ends Intel Mac support. So it says Apple's decision to make macOS Tahoe the latest version to support Intel Macs is going to cause enormous problems for OpenCore and any Hackintosh users. The communities are taking the news quite well. So I read through the article. It's saying basically that the people understand what's coming, but obviously Tahoe is the last version to support Intel Macs. After that, they don't know how. They think it's going to be impossible for OpenCore to continue. OpenCore is a software that you can load on older Macs, so you can get the newer Mac OS. Like, let's say you had a 2014 Mac, you can actually get Tahoe on that using OpenCore. But that's all going to end, they think. They think there's no way around it. Apple's not going to let them get in there and actually move that code around. So we'll see what happens. Again, Hackintosh users, they've been gone for a while. I actually had one a long time ago. Still kind of fun to fool around with, but all that's going away. So that's one negative of this. But of course, someone might create something. There's some smart people out there, and we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so now we got some sales coming up here. I'm going to show you. These are Mac sales. Now, keep in mind that these could change any day now. I think these are going to be good only through the weekend at the most. Just a couple more days here, so definitely jump on these if you want them. A couple here, Mac Minis, right here from Amazon. This is the lowest price alert, 2024. This is going to be the base level, obviously, Mac Mini, but it's only $469 right now on Amazon, 22% off, usually $599. So we've seen that for $499, but $469 is a low price alert right now for that base level model, all right? Let's go to the next one, and it kind of continues down the whole chain. This is the one I recommend a lot of people should get here. Again, this is the M4 chip, and it's got, what is this? It's going to have 16 gigs of RAM, but that upgraded 512 gigabyte SSD. Most people would be fine with this. You might want to go to the 24 gigs as well. I mean, again, I don't think a lot of people that just do normal computer stuff need that RAM, but if you do anything more than that, you probably want to get 24. But still, $698. This is 14% off, usually $799. Another low price alert. Let's just keep moving here. What's the next one we got in here? Oh, this is the one I wanted to show you. So this one's $849. This is going to have basically 24 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabyte SSD. So this is the one you might want to kind of go after. Usually this is around $1,000. It's $850 or $849, 15% off. So that's maybe the one you want to get. But either way, Amazon keeps dropping these, and they say these are going to be lower prices right now than they're actually going to be during like the Prime days coming up. So if you want to get one of these, you have to get them in the next few days. I'll have links in the description. They could change at any moment. Now, another place selling Macs on a super sale right now that is probably going to be cheaper now than buying them during the Prime days is right here from B&H. Take a look at this sale. It's going to be basically the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M4 Pro chip. You can see it down here. 48 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. So that's a big powerhouse. 48 gigs, 1 terabyte, $23.99. That's $400 off. So if you go into B&H now, look for this like little blue symbol. It says Build Expo Special. There's a ton of these in there for all these different Apple products. This one says ending June 22nd. So we're already, it's only a couple days away. And the next one's actually, I thought this was one of the better deals I've seen. This is the Apple, but this is the 15-inch MacBook Air. It's only the M3, but it's 15 inches, right? And you get 16 gigs of RAM and 256 for $899 for a 15-inch. That's $400 off right now. So if you want the bigger one, you don't need the M4 chip. The M3 is going to be fast enough for you on an Air. Trust me, it is. I have an M2 sitting here, and I use it for everything. $899 for the 15-inch with the 16 gigs of RAM. You can't beat that, right? All right, for the next one here, this is kind of a funny one, but sometimes Apple does some crazy things out there that you have just leaves you scratching your head. And this is one of them right here, 9 to 5 Mac. It says macOS Tahoe 26 does away with the Mickey Mouse cursor glove, or whatever you want to call it, Mickey Mouse glove cursor. So you can see this is what it is. So if I go over here, look, see I don't know if I can zoom in over here on my cursor. You can see that little Mickey Mouse glove. Mine's yellow because I changed the color. But now they're going to change it from this over to this that doesn't have the little Mickey Mouse kind of little things here where the the knuckles are. And it's it's going to be a little bit more rounded. It says a few days ago, Apple released the design resources file, and it says undoubtedly will leave a few long-term Mac users feeling heartbroken because they're going to change this. So my question is, the calculator app on a Mac is still the size of a postage stamp like this. It's tiny. You can barely use the damn thing. But here, they have time to do this for some reason. And this is stuff that people probably want just because it brings them back to the early Mac. So you guys post in the comments, why in the world are they doing this kind of stuff? It just leaves you scratching your head. Okay, now we got a couple of things coming. Now, all the different changes to Apple CarPlay, I talked about just a couple of them, but here's a full list of everything that's going to be there's going to be some smaller things, but here's all the major ones right here. Mac Rumors says, so, obviously it says CarPlay on iOS 26. Here's everything new. And you can kind of see the design of it here. So the first one down here is going to be liquid glass design. You can kind of see how it looks in this picture here. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but we all know that everything's changing to the liquid glass on all the Macs and iOS. So we'll see how that is. We've already seen it multiple times if you watch videos. It's pretty cool, but it's not life-changing to me. These other things are kind of cool, though. Next one's a new message app features. So starting in iOS 26, you can respond to messages with a standard tap backs, like a heart, thumbs up, basically. So if someone texts you on the screen, you can actually just tap on something like a heart, the thumbs up, thumbs down, instead of actually responding to them. I think that's actually a good thing, because then you can just do it and not be so distracted. Hopefully you're not typing while you're driving. Just don't do that. But you get the idea. So that's kind of a cool change. The next one's pin conversations. This isn't going to really be too big for me. Now you can view your pin conversations in the messaging app on CarPlay. You can go ahead and take a look at that there. This next one over here says compact view for phone calls. This one's a nice one. It says CarPlay has a new compact view for incoming phone calls so that you can still see other information on the screen. You can see it down here. When the phone comes in, it doesn't take up the whole screen here. It just takes up a small part there. That's actually cool. Live activities. This is another thing. CarPlay's dashboard screen can now show live activities, letting you keep track of things like flight arrivals. So you can see over down here, actually, it's showing you a flight arrival. Maybe you're picking somebody up. So anything off of your phone with those live notifications will come onto the CarPlay and nicely be tucked over here on the right side. That's a good change, I think, there for sure. Widgets. It says the regular version of CarPlay now has widgets, and you can go ahead and add them like this. Before, it says it was only basically on the CarPlay Ultra, but now it's moved to the CarPlay also. So that's really cool, and you can't complain there. We want more functionality on this thing. They're giving it to us. And a couple other things I kind of mentioned before is over here. We have multi-touch maps. I didn't even think I already thought this was available, but apparently not. I guess you can use multiple fingers and pinch in and pinch out on the maps. Then watch videos while parked. I talked about that. And that's basically, it says iPhone users will be able to wirelessly stream videos to CarPlay screen using AirPlay and watch videos and stuff only when they're parked, though, obviously. And then over here it says Smart Zoom. Let's see what this says. Actually, right here, Smart Zoom. When the setting is enabled, CarPlay will automatically resize to better fit the shape and size of your vehicle's dashboard screen. That's could be the biggest one of them all. See how this one's kind of all square here, and it fits it perfectly. And it shows after. Well, I guess that's not the best. I don't know. I guess it adds the icons. I was thinking that it would do something different here, but I guess it just makes sure everything is visible. I guess that's fine, so you don't have to keep going further to the right. That's fine, I guess. So that's all it is right now. But I think that last one could be useful. We'll have to see how it's implemented. Overall, those are some changes coming to the CarPlay. If you even have one. Now, I guess post in the comments, how many people actually have CarPlay in their car? I'm guessing by now it has to be like close to 90%. Okay, this next one's just kind of funny again, because obviously Tim Cook, he talked about Apple Intelligence. We know it's been a failure. He said that people are buying the new iPhone 16 because of Apple Intelligence. We know that's not true. Apple Insider, cracked screens and dead batteries are selling more iPhones than AI. You can see the article right here. Even with Apple Intelligence tools and a fresh look iOS, most iPhone upgrades happen when the phone breaks down and stuff. And we'll kind of go to this graph here. This graph is by Consumer Research and Consumer Intelligence Research Partners, LLC. I want to give them credit. But here's why people buy a new iPhone. Current phone issues, 40%. Maybe it's getting too old. Lost, broken, stolen, 27%. So that's 67% with the broken and just getting old. New features is the one that we're talking about, 13% only. Network issues, 3%. Sales promotion, 5%. Hand-down phone, 1%, and then other. But really it says 13% of people are buying because of the AI, and it's probably only a little smaller portion of that 13% pie there. So it's not really doing much right now because there's so many other tools available, right? You can go out to ChatGPT. You can download apps. I don't think it's as big of a difference right now than they think, but overall it's going to be, but right now I think they have a little bit of a grace period. Okay, this next article here is by Mac Rumors, and this is actually talking about, let's just take a look. Safari changes in iOS 26 go beyond the address bar. So one of the key changes into Safari in iOS 26 is the redesigned liquid glass address bar. We all know that, right? With a couple different layouts. Well, down here it's saying there's a couple changes here. So it says web apps for all websites. What does that mean? Starting in iOS 26, every website added to the home screen via Safari opens as a web app, even if it's not configured to be. On earlier iOS versions, websites that were not configured to open as a web app would open just in Safari, meaning that the home screen and app icons in those websites are effectively just bookmarks. But now it's going to open as, I don't know if you've ever used web apps where you can create a web app instead of just linking, like instead of opening a tab or whatever, it actually creates like an application for the website. It's going to do that if you pick anything from that home screen. Apparently you can turn that off because I think that's going to really kind of annoy a lot of people. It's going to annoy me for sure. The next one over here is HDR images. Safari can now support HDR images in 5 years after the browser gained support for HDR video. HDR images basically has a wider dynamic range. We all know that stuff, so you can actually go ahead and enable that. SVC icons. Safari now supports SVC file format for icons anywhere that they're shown in the browser, including like the bookmarks and things at the top of the screen up there in kind of the address bar. So that's actually good news there as well. And then it says more. Even more changes are coming. Those are some, I guess, some minor changes there, 3 of them. So that's not really a huge amount of changes for Safari. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more coming, and I'll kind of cover those. But these are the 3 that they kind of outlined right away. Okay, so sometimes the small changes that Apple makes, things that they don't think will be big, are some of the biggest ones or that people get the most use out of. This might be one of them. Mac rumors. iOS 26 lets you set custom ringtones without using GarageBand. The dust is beginning to settle in iOS 26, but there is one smaller improvement that we wanted to make sure that was highlighted. The ability to set a custom ringtone on the iPhone without using GarageBand app. So basically, before you'd actually have to use that, now it says to set up a custom ringtone in iOS 26, open the Files app and tap on the MP3 or M4 audio file, and that is less than 30 seconds long. So it has to be a file less than 30 seconds long. Next, tap on the Share button on the bottom right corner of the screen, tap on More, and tap on Use as Ringtone. Then that audio file will be listed as a ringtone option in your ringtones. So you can go ahead and just, pick a file that's less than 30 seconds and set it up like that. It'll go into the ringtones, and now you don't have to actually use GarageBand, something that's very, very tiny, but people will actually use. Okay, this next one's interesting only to the fact that I didn't even know it was even doable, and it's actually doable right now. Let me just explain. So Apple Terminal app gets colorful redesign in macOS Tahoe. So you can go ahead and says Apple's Terminal app is getting a visual refresh in macOS Tahoe, and it's the first notable design update since the command line debuted. But that's not really the case. You can see how cool it is. It's going to have all these colors. And without getting into that, what I want to show you is you can actually do something like this now. So let me just show you. So if you go in here and you open up Terminal, and you actually have kind of a terminal window open over here. If you go up to here, and I'm actually not in, obviously, the new one. I'm actually, let me just go over here. I'm in actually Sequoia 15.5, so 15.5 there. So here it is right here. So if I go up to Terminal and then go to here, Settings, and then down here, look at this. If you go into your profiles here, you're going to see that you could actually have colors right now, as we speak right now. So this is the basic one, but let me go ahead and open up a grass one. Actually, you click here. I'm sorry, you click right there, not on the word, but right there. Look at this. So I'm opening up a green one called grass. See that? And then let me close that down. Let me go back over here. Let me click on this one down here. So you can go ahead and get different colors. That one's actually see-through. Let me do one more, maybe this yellow one. So you get the idea. It does have colors, and you can go in here and change the profiles all in here of all the different colors and everything. So it's in there right now. I guess this other thing, is going to have some other, it's going to do something else that I'm not aware of and I don't even care about because I could care less. But I just wanted to show you that more colors, I guess, are coming. Okay, this next one's another example of a small change coming that's actually going to be used all the time. Apple Insider says how polls in iOS 26 messaging app makes group planning easier. So we talked about this before. In the messaging app on iOS, or I guess it's going to be on Mac now as well, you're going to be able to make calls and stuff, but you can actually, or text and stuff, but you can go ahead and use, create polls, poll things like, what do we want to do? And everyone can actually take a guess. So let me just show you how this works. I just wanted to show you the example. So I'm going to scroll down to this iPad over here. You can do it on the iPad as well. But let's just say you're texting. Here's a text window over here. Let's say this is your iPhone as well. You can go ahead and pull up the polls. So you can see right here, it says right here, what should we do for lunch? And then you can type in burger, spaghetti, salad. This will go out to the person and they can actually go ahead and vote. They'll click on each of these things and then a vote will come back actually on the screen here and tell you what the kind of the consensus of the group is. And then you move on to the burger joint or wherever you want to go. Like I said, Denny's. You get the idea. But long story short, this is actually going to be used all the time, I think, because you can poll things about where do you guys want to go today, all that kind of stuff. What time should we meet? Stuff like that. And then people will go in. And I don't know if they can actually do it so you can't tell who chose what. Maybe it's anonymous. That would be cool, right? If it was an anonymous poll, maybe you can switch that. Who knows? But overall, kind of a cool change. All right, so we got some more back-to-school deals with Apple, and they're actually interesting this year. Mac Rumors. Apple's 2025 back-to-school sale now live, offering free accessories with purchases. So let's just kind of scroll down here. It says the 2025 promotion is different from last year's, but last year's it was up to a $150 gift card. And I'm not sure this is better, but now what you get here is down here, if you kind of scroll down, MacBook buyers, customers purchasing any new MacBook can select from the accessories valued up to $199. So if you buy a MacBook, you can select AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, AirPods 2, Magic Mouse, Magic Trackpad. You get any of this stuff for free if you buy the MacBook and you're a student or a teacher. And I'll go through that in a second. iPad buyers, iPads can choose any accessory ranging from up to $210. So let's kind of scroll down. They can get an Apple Pencil Pro, AirPods 4. You get to choose any of these things as well. That's really cool if you're buying an iPad. And then the iMac users, they get either AirPods 4 or AirPods Pro 2. It says the promotion is open to K-12 employees, including teachers and school board members, plus higher education faculty, staff, and students. They list the students last. Parents buying the college-bound children also can qualify. So if you're a parent buying for your college student, you can get that as well. But I love how they put all these people, including administrative people and stuff, because everyone in Illinois that I know of, all the teachers, people kind of give them all these kind of deals and stuff. I mean, I just gotta be honest, they got 3 months off in Illinois, and then a lot of them in the suburbs, they're making $180,000 a year, and then when they retire, they make 75% of their salary for life. So, I mean, maybe they should give these kind of deals to people that make $30,000 or $40,000 a year. You get the idea. I know there's some teachers out there that basically are not making that much. I guarantee, that's totally true. But around the suburbs of Chicago, there should be locations, because around the suburbs of Chicago, I mean, I know gym teachers around where I'm living that are making over $200,000 a year. Can you imagine? Totally crazy. Okay, we got a couple more sales here. This time is from Best Buy. We like to help out the brick and mortar. Over here, Best Buy. Apple MacBook Air 13-inch laptop here. I thought this was a great deal. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, right? 512 gigabytes. You get the extra storage here. It's only the M3 chip though, but still $899 with the 512 gigabytes. So it's really like $699. And then you add this and it's $899. So, I mean, and again, the M3 is a really good chip here. It's not going to be a big difference between that and the M4. Not a huge difference. And you're getting the biggest thing is that storage, right? For $899. I just thought that was kind of a unique deal, I guess, because they don't offer a lot. And then this next one, too. This is the 13-inch laptop here as well. But now you get 24 gigs of RAM and a 512 gigabyte SSD. See that? With the M3 chip here. So you don't get the updated chip, but you get upgraded here and you get upgraded here for $1099. That's a great value. I mean, if you think about it, 24 gigs is going to just fly, and then you get the extra storage. You'll be golden for many years with the M3 here. So that's a good deal from Best Buy as well. And it's something that I would highly recommend because you always don't need the newest and greatest. Always buy a year behind and you're going to save big. Okay, this next one just makes me chuckle. We'll go right through it, though. It's Apple Insider. It says, Meta, Amazon, and more want a 10-year ban on states regulating AI. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? But it says big tech companies, including Amazon, Meta, Google, and Microsoft, but not Apple, are lobbying to block U.S. states from forming any AI regulations in the next decade. Do you guys think that's a great idea? We have no idea where this is going. There could be no jobs left with AI. It's going so fast. These guys want to ban any AI kind of regulating for 10 years. That's crazy. Apple's the only one that's not. That's actually a good sign. Maybe because they're a little bit behind too. We'll see. But we'll see if they change their tune when they actually come out with the best one. But right now, they're saying no. Kind of interesting. Makes me laugh. Okay, we're talking about these little small features that you didn't know about that actually add a lot to kind of this new macOS and iPhone OS, all the stuff coming out. Here's another one, 9 to 5 Mac. It says iOS 26 adds incredible new AutoMix feature in Apple Music. It just shows a little picture here. iOS 26 is full of new features, basically, that are more expansive and stuff like that. But perhaps the most impressive music feature of all, however, is this AutoMix. So it says, Apple explains that AutoMix and Apple Music will use artificial intelligence to analyze the audio features of your music and seamlessly create transitions between songs. The results, it says, is like a DJ-like experience. So imagine if you're listening to all these different songs you have in there, and one song ends, and it's going to use like an AI algorithm to kind of DJ it into the next song, so there's no lull or no stop in the song, and the song kind of meshes together, kind of just the way it should, like a DJ would do. Really cool, right? So it's a small change again that I think everyone will use. Okay, just to let you know right here, so this is actually Apple Card. So if you're going to get an Apple Card, now's the time right now. And why is that? Here we go. This is Mac Rumors. Apple Card offering limited time welcome bonus. So as applying for an Apple Card can score you some bonus money for a limited time. Now through July 7th, customers who apply for the Apple Card will receive $100 in extra daily cash when they spend $500 or more in the first 60 days. So if you spend $500 or more, you're going to get basically $100 in extra daily cash instantly, basically. So you're getting $100 for just signing up for the card. And you have to go to their offer page. Let me just click on it right here. So you got to go to this page here. It says get the Apple Cash Card, and it's got the bonus right up here. It talks about it here. So anyways, this is learn.applecard.apple, I guess, is the actual domain. You get the idea. Look it up. You'll probably find it on the web as well. But there it is. That's actually a pretty good offering. I think at least Apple's giving us something. Okay, if you watch my channel, I test a whole bunch of electronics and SSD drives and enclosures for your Mac Minis and everything. We got a couple little sales here. Remember, Amazon Prime Days are coming. I'm going to have a couple videos on all the sales with that, so subscribe if you want to see those things. Here we go with just a couple little ones. Here we go. The Kingston NV3 1 terabyte is down to $57 right now. That's almost 30% off right now. It's a good deal, up to 6,000 megabytes per second here as far as the speeds, PCIe Gen 4. So $57 is not a bad cost right now, especially for a little bit faster drive here. I thought that was an okay deal, nothing like mind-bending or anything like that. Now, if you're really cheap and you want to get kind of the lowest cost 2 terabyte drive, this is not the lowest, but it's close. It's right here, Silicon Power 2 terabyte US 75, and this is the NVMe PCI Gen 4 M.2, up to 7,600 on the reads and writes, and compatible with PlayStation 5, but also your Mac if you just, obviously, if you do APFS, if you just obviously format it correctly. But $109 right now, so that's a really good deal right now. And I'm not even sure this is even on sale right now, which is kind of crazy. It says you do get a free item and you buy it, but that's actually one of the lower prices for a 2 terabyte drive right now, so I just wanted to highlight it. So who would have known? It's not even on sale, so maybe the sale will hit maybe in a couple of weeks or a week or two, but we'll have to see. But this is still something to pick up. The 1 terabyte on that's 62, but the 2 terabyte at 109 is one of the lowest. Okay, so I guess the theme today is we're talking about these small changes that Apple's making that are going to make the most impact on people. Here's another one that's just an annoyance when it wasn't added, but now it's going to be actually nice to have. So here we go, 9 to 5 Mac. Apple's Wallet app has new feature for saved credit cards in iOS 26. So if we scroll down here, it's basically we'll just say last year in iOS 18, Apple launched the new Passwords app across its platform. I use the app all the time, but there are some key missing features, all right? He says, in theory, Apple's Wallet app should be able to fill the gap left by passwords not supporting credit cards. However, even Wallet falls short here. Other than my Apple Card, none of my credit cards offer their full details inside the wallet. All I see is the card's last 4 digits. Thus, wherever I need to access credit card info, I still need to use my 1Password to get the information. So, for example, when you have a different card in your Apple Wallet, and let's say you need the 3-digit code, let's say you can't pay, with your phone, you got to put it into a device or something, or you have to fill something out, like online, you need to put the numbers in. You can't see the numbers, right? Because they're in this card and they wouldn't give them to you before. So now, if you scroll down in here, they have a new screen in here that allows you to save securely your card number, your expiration date, your security code, and description. So now actually you can go into any card, not only just your Apple Card, and get the full information, like your CVS code, like whatever. It's fully secured. I think it's going to be like a fingerprint or something. Long story short, kind of a cool upgrade, because now if you're sitting in front of the computer and you need to actually punch that in, you're going to have it. Okay, I love to introduce little gadgets that I think are fun and companies keep making just to kind of make our lives a little bit, funner and better. Here's one of them. It's not going to be mind-changing. This is the SpyGen. I don't know how to say that, but just released the Apple Watch charger stand I've always wanted. And you can take a look at it. So the Apple Watch charger kind of weaves through here, and it looks like basically a little teeny, obviously, iMac from the old days. See that? So if you kind of scroll down, you can see how they have it here. Your watch is going to basically sit on top of it there, and it looks just like obviously this old computer that everyone loved. Now it's got the 4 colors here. It's going to be $34. So I went to their website. It's only selling this color right now, it looks like. So I went to the website, and just the color here is this one right here. It doesn't have the other colors yet, so it's kind of interesting. But you do have to go to their website, I think, to get it. It might be on Amazon. I didn't check. $34.99 right now. And but this looks really cool, so you can kind of get a glimpse. Hopefully they're going to make these other colors. But anyways, it's just a small little device here, right, that makes everything kind of go back to the old days, right? And sometimes you just need that in life. Sometimes it makes you happy just seeing that on your desk. Is it worth the money? Probably not. But is it worth your sanity? Maybe. Okay, we got another tech sale here. Now, this is an Apple-owned product, even though a lot of people don't know that. But this is going to be the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Look at that. True wireless noise-canceling headphones. These are usually kind of top-notch. These are $170, usually down to $119, 4.1. But I actually love this color. Look at it. It's kind of a see-through plastic there. White still. It's still going to be white, but it's got that really cool design there, especially with the case and the earphones. So I think that's a really cool deal, and a lot of people love these things. They love the sound out of them, and Apple owns them. So overall, I think that's a really good deal there. I'll have a link in the description. Okay, some good news for the Apple iPhones. I guess maybe a month ago, I talked about how Apple was losing its reign on the iPhone and other phones are starting to, beat it in other countries. Well, it looks like Apple kind of they had a really good, month or two here. So it says right here, iPhone, this is actually from Mac Rumors, iPhone sales jumped 15% in April, May, as Apple reclaims China lead. So iPhone sales climbed 15% year over year in April and May, signaling Apple's strongest two-month performance over the period since the pandemic. So since 2000, I guess that's since 2000, right? And so they have the most sales here. You can see it's jumping up. It looks like the part of the market they have is like 17.4%, but it jumped up. It went way down here in 2024. This is where we were getting worried, and then it went up here. This stats from Counterpoint right here. You can see it back there. I want to give them credit there, but you can see this. So it was going down, and we were a little bit worried about it, but it jumped back up. So for all it's worth, they're doing well. Okay, this next one's another small feature. I didn't plan this, trust me. That's actually going to help us out a lot. So take a look over here. This is Mac Rumors. It says tvOS 26 introduces automatic sign-in feature for Apple TV apps. So Apple this week introduced the new automatic sign-in API, which will make it easier to sign in apps across multiple devices. So starting with Apple's latest software, such as iOS 26 or tvOS 26, you'll be able to sign into a supported app on one of the Apple devices and automatically then be signed into another app on your other Apple device. So for example, it says if you sign into the Disney Plus app on your iPhone, you'd be automatically signed into your Disney Plus app on your Apple TV. So you sign in on your iPhone and it ports over to the TV, so you don't have to be signing into multiple locations. You sign on your Mac, as long as they're all on the same network and under the same name, it'll actually sign into all your other devices at that exact time, and then you can pull that device up. Little small change that's going to help a lot of confusion, and people get frustrated when they're trying to, they can't use the controller to kind of log in. Going to be a good change. Okay, this next one, again, gets me scratching my head just because of all these crazy regulations in the European Union. I mean, what are they thinking with a lot of this stuff? Can you create a product anymore and have it be like the best product, or does everything have to be equal? Is that the way the world's going? Everyone has to be exactly equal? That's just the way it is. Mac Rumors. Apple explains why iPhone mirroring remains unavailable in the EU on macOS Tahoe. So Apple year-old iPhone mirroring feature is still unavailable in the European Union, and it appears it'll remain that way with macOS Tahoe. So why is that? Why can't they have the mirroring in there? It's just a crazy reason. Take a look. It says Apple did not elaborate, but it might be worried that the European Commission eventually forcing it to expand iPhone mirroring to Windows or requiring it to offer Android mirroring to the Mac. So if you think about it, they're going to go out and say, well, if you can do this on your Mac stuff, then you have to allow Android to mirror to your Mac. They're going to make them do that. Why? I mean, people can make their own decision, right? So Apple's more afraid that they're going to make them do all this crazy stuff. So they're saying, we're just not going to add it, because once we do it, then you create all these regulations against us. And why do they, it's not worth their time, right? It's not worth their effort of fighting all these lawsuits. So it's just like one of those things, I understand, if you have a product and you've made a proprietary type software, people have a choice. You're either in or you're out. You don't always have to have everything equal, inclusion of everything, right? I mean, obviously, it's just crazy, especially with products. You think a Rolls Royce is the same as a Honda. It's not, right? There's going to be luxuries in there. Should they regulate saying that all Hondas need to have the exact same features as a Rolls Royce? Of course not. It's more expensive. It's this, it's that. So it just drives me nuts. But that's the European Union for you. I love the, I've been to Germany 10 times and stuff. I love it out there, but still, these kind of things are just kind of killing the European Union, I think. You guys post in the comments. Okay, if you're looking for a Thunderbolt 4 hub that's incredibly cheap, it does not break the bank, no special features though, right over here. This is going to be the OWC 5-port Thunderbolt hub right here. 60-watt charging, 3 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports, 1 USB 3.2 Gen 2, dual display support, compatible with Macs and PCs. So take a look at over here. Only $102 for a Thunderbolt 4 port. So on the front, you can see you get the host port and you get a USB-A there. And then basically over here, let me actually get off this, but at the bottom down there, you get the 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, you get a Kingston lock, and then you get the power in there. So, I mean, it's going to give you more Thunderbolt ports is what it comes down to, really, and one USB-A if you want that, because obviously that doesn't come on some of the newer Macs. But for $102, it's a steal for Thunderbolt 4, right? So I'm not saying it's the best. It doesn't have SSDs in there or anything like that you can add, but still, $102, they're coming down. I guess there's problems all around the world, but one of the problems I've been watching, I watch it on like YouTube and stuff, is what's happening all around like England and stuff. Now, I love it. Again, I've been there. I love it. I went to go watch Fulham play soccer. People are probably going to hate me for that. It just seems like there's a lot of things going on, like with the police forces. Here, too, in the United States, trust me. But still. Anyways, here we go. Apple Insider right here. It says, couple steals back their own car after tracking it via AirTag. That's just kind of a cool story. When London police wouldn't recover a stolen car despite AirTag giving its location. Let's just read that again. When London police wouldn't recover a stolen car despite an AirTag giving its location, the owner said they tracked down and stole it back for themselves. So these people called the police, and the police said, we don't have time for this. We're not going to go get your car. Again, what's going on there? What's going on here, right? So that's just insane to me, right? They know where the car is. They wouldn't do it. So the people went back, and then they actually told the police. What is this here? It's found their $57,000 Jaguar. They found it. They told the police, we're going to do this. And the police said, well, just give us a call. I read the article. Just give us a call if you guys need us again during your recovery process. That's all they said. Can you believe that? So the people went out there. There was no one around. They stole the car. They had an extra set of keys. They took it back, and now they have it back. Pretty crazy, right? This is what it's coming to. It's unbelievable, but I love it. It's a feel-good story, and, screw the thieves. Okay, this last one here is kind of interesting to me just because Apple usually doesn't do this, but they're starting to do it. Maybe they're starting to soften up a little bit. Mac rumors. Apple begins selling wide range of accessories for fun summer colors. Now, I don't care about the colors or anything like that. I just know it's kind of cool to have all these different accessories now. Apple's teamed up with a handful of accessory makers to offer chargers, stands, cases, and Apple power banks, cables, and more. I mean, obviously, it's these crazy colors and stuff, which I'm not, again, a fan of. But if you kind of go into their website now, on their websites, look at this, accessories, nimble wall stretch, 65-watt charger here, $59, but you can see it comes in a couple different colors here, so you don't have to get those crazy colors. You can get just white here. That's kind of interesting, although I don't know that that's worth $59, right? Then you got these stands here, 12 South Curve mini stand, $49. It's got some crazy colors in there as well, but it's a magnetic stand for your iPad. So they're just coming with these different, different things. Satechi even, magnetic wallet stand. You can see it in here. This has a lot of colors, including just normal colors like that. Finally, some good colors. And what's the other one over here? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. This is a Watch It keychain Apple Watch magnetic charger. This is kind of interesting. So this actually is just a keychain with the little plug here. You can charge this device up. And then you can go ahead, or you can plug it in somewhere into your phone and grab power from the phone. And then you just basically put your AirPods on here and it'll charge the AirPods. So again, you can plug it in here into your computer and then charge your watch on it. So it's like a little keychain you plug in. I don't know if it has a battery in it. It's kind of weird because in this picture it shows this little thing here. I don't think it would. That's too small, right? So it must be getting the power from here. Long story short, what is this? Only $29.95. So, but what I'm getting at is these companies, like I've never even heard of this company, they're starting to pull other products and actually sell them on the Apple Web Store, which means that they probably vetted the products and they know that they work fairly well with their stuff. It's not going to be a scam. At least we hope not. So and that gives you a little more confidence to buy it. Okay, so we're going to wrap up this episode. I hope everyone loves the weekend Apple news. And again, I'm listening to all the comments coming in. I've just been so busy. I haven't had any time to change the format really yet and things like that. I kind of moved my computer out of the screen. Someone said to do that, but a couple people did. I don't know if I like it this way or the other way. I might actually be putting the blue Mac back there and doing some other stuff because I have to look at this all the time, but it was kind of covering up half the screen. You guys post in the comments. Do you guys like the computer over here in the screen if you watched my channel before, or do you like it out of the screen? And do you like this kind of a view better? You guys post, and I'll listen to you eventually, maybe in a year or two, right? It takes me a long time, but I'll do it, I promise you. And anyways, here's your weekend Apple news. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.